Love
Christine's up.
Oh,
Christine's up in the house.
Right, I could definitely eat pizza with Christine.
Yeah, you're good. We're safe in here. Coming in, right, so next we've got Christine Griffey, who's... Who has to put up with me, or not today anyway, hasn't had to put up with me. I was gutted when Henry came in earlier, but it was 2 online people, so everyone was being quiet, but...
He was being really quiet.
I know, he's
really,
always,
really good.
He's always a good boy. He's always a good boy. Yeah, that picture made my day this morning when he was watching us on the telly.
What was the tongue, though?
What? Yeah, well, the tongue was...
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't stop him doing it. I don't really know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think he was admiring his tongue on the video.
He's a character.
So cute.
Yeah, he's a character.
He is cute.
But you talk a chat at me.
All right?
Yeah, you're right.
I think so. I don't really know.
It's not long left.
What did you write on your thing? I want to look at that. Is it? I know what it'll be about. It'll be about mumming. It'll be about mumming and everything else.
Working.
So it's interesting because, I know you won't mind me sharing that.
I mean, I might.
Well,
depends what it is.
We'll be on that now. When Henry was born, we had a conversation about well-being. We didn't use those words, but we said about you. Because Christine is, by the way, if you don't know Christine, she's my partner in business and life, and we've been together for 16 years. 16 years?
Yeah.
Yes. 16 years? Wow. Yes. Yeah, like...
Got that right?
Yeah, so... We've been running businesses for 10 years together. Christine's never had a job. You're self-employed straight out, right? And... and we won't go into when we were younger, when we met, and what you've done for me in those moments, because I definitely wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for Christine. I'll tell you that right now. But 3 years ago, when Henry was born, we had a conversation about adjusting. This adjustment that we would need to make in order to make space for, or not. I think when he was going to be born, we had a conversation. We're like, yeah, well, you fit into our life because we had ambitions. We were going to do this, and he'll just come wherever we are, and he's gonna have to.
Bless them.
I know, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's just
so naive.
He's just going to fit in. Yeah, that's not really how it works, is it?
No.
But then we did have a conversation about the fact that I'll be all right. Henry will be all right. The businesses will all be all right. But I had concern about the fact that you might not be all right.
Yeah.
And I think we thought, and that's been a healthy conversation. I think we're really good at that anyway, talking about this sort of stuff. But I don't know if you want to, share your perspective on. Are you all right?
Yeah. So I think I've been mulling on that whilst obviously the conversations and stuff have been happening, and really. The best way I think I can describe it is that, like, on the surface, fine. Deep down, fine. Like, in the grand scheme of everything, I'm fine. There's, like, a muddy middle that I think's really quite complicated to articulate. And I feel like that's worse since, or maybe it's only happened since becoming a mum. Like, the last 3 years is a blur. I think I thought I'd remember, like, every detail. I almost feel bad that I don't remember exactly how old he was when he said his first word. Pretty sure it was dada, because it always is, right? But
rude.
Yeah. But I think the best way of describing it is that like everything feels like a bit of a contradiction. So it's really hard to then articulate how you feel because it's different. It might be like 10 different things in a day. So it's really hard to say it. But I think on the surface, yes, I'm fine. And deep down, yes, I'm fine. But then there's just feelings that you just can't. So then, like, if someone asks you how you are, it's too complicated to actually say how I am. So, I'm fine.
Yeah.
All the time, I'm fine. But 1 hour, I might really not be fine. And another hour, I might be really happy. And another hour, just stressed and, like, you just want to scream. So, I'm fine. And probably not fine.
That's Christine.
Is probably a blend.
Just living.
Good. That's right.
Just living. Life is life in, right? And when you've got babies, that the shock to the system that that kids bring,
it's different level,
is just next level. And I think sometimes, and bearing in mind I can only speak from lived experience of having 2 children, but every single parent's experience is going to be different. First of all, let's just be really clear on that.
Yeah, there's no book for this one.
Every parent's expectation of child rearing is also going to be different. And again, that's absolutely fine. The reality of child rearing for everybody, I think, is really, really hard. And you don't quite get there until you get there. Like, I'm sitting here listening to you, and Henry's 3, right? You saw Sebastian and Hermione today. Seb's 18 next month. And I'm
That's
like,
crazy, yeah.
he was 3 once. And when he was 3, I had a baby. And Christine just gone,
Can't even.
I feel like that now. I'm like, what? How did I do that with 2 kids under 2? Yeah, 2 under 2. And that was, but it did it, and I can't really remember it because I think that's the whole point.
You're just doing it.
There is something, and this is my medical experience, right? There is something in concussion, and I'm not making child rearing the same as concussion. I want to make that really clear.
Probably elements.
Probably. If you fall over and you smack your head, right, and you live with concussion, you cannot remember the point of impact. So people who have like concussion, they'll go, I fell over, I smacked my head, and then next thing I woke up, or I remember sitting there, but I don't remember the moment of impact. And I think that there is a very real thing to protect us from the actual moment of impact. Because if we were to have to remember that, do you know what I mean? If you smacked your head on the corner of a table and you had to relive the corner of the table smacking it,
Protective.
who wants to? So there's a protective element, and I think the same does kind of come up for child rearing in a way. I'm not putting it across in the same way. So you get through it, even though at the time you don't think you're gonna, and you come up with difficulties. And the expectations are always. So to your point, and I don't know if you and I haven't discussed this, but you are a chief executive and you have a baby. I was a chief executive and had a baby. The pressures around you about what that looks like, and we've discussed this on a podcast that I was running together about what does the word CEO mean, you know, how much do we put to it? And when we had the added element of parenting within that, and then you have the outside expectations. Then you have the intrinsic. See, I can say it now. Extrinsic. I couldn't say that before. I think I've gone past the point of no return with tiredness.
You're just not thinking about it
I'm
now.
not thinking about it, And intrinsically, is it the right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's part of the challenge. And if you're not a mum that is happy to take on the role of just mum, and when I say just, people think it's low. It's not just.
Yeah.
I mean, as in singularly, mother role. What does that mean for us? And is it, and I'm asking this question of you, is it that there is a element of societal expectations for you to be more than mum as a singular?
I definitely think there's an element of that. I think because I was obviously more than that before. I don't think I was old to have a kid. I was 30. I'd turned 30 when I found out.
No, not.
But I guess I'd already started on a certain pathway, and we never thought we were going to have kids. Although, interestingly, I was going through like old phone notes because I want to delete all the old phone notes on my phone. And one from like 2018, on my list of like my future self, Mum was on there. So there was obviously some kind of like level of me.
It was a ploy.
Yeah, sorry. But no, we hadn't ever planned to have kids. And I really didn't think I was remotely maternal at all. Like around other people's kids, I wasn't a huge fan. I always thought, to be fair, I'm still not a massive fan of other people's kids. But I think I always thought like we were too selfish to have kids. We were quite ambitious and whatever, which I think is what drove kind of where our head was at when it was, it's happened now, I'm pregnant, so he'll come into the world, we've been together forever, and he'll just fit in. And he has largely, but obviously there's a lot of elements where he hasn't, and I've had to change a lot of the stuff that I would have just been able to do. Everything now comes with but what happens in this situation and what choice do I make in that situation? But yes, we'd already started on a certain pathway, and we had conversations, and I didn't want to stop that.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is societal, but also part of I still hadn't necessarily achieved what I wanted to achieve. And I haven't actually defined what that is. So I'm probably at a point where that's never going to happen because I don't actually know what it is.
Also, I think that, you know, there is an element of people think that, and time is one of those very strange things, isn't it? You know, we're constantly running out of it, and we're
Kids are a
constantly,
constant reminder of that.
and they're constantly reminder of it. But, you know, and I'm not to kind of call you out in terms of your age, but I'm like 13 years older than you, and my kids are, they're older, they don't need me as much, but I'm still on the career trajectory that I was on before. And even now, more so moving into the charity, of a chief executive of a national charity, that's something I never expected to have to do, never wanted to do, or never thought I would. But I'm still doing it, and I'm still doing these firsts. And I say all of this to say I think there's an element of kind of putting our life in timelines, and, you know, it should be this time, it should hit that time, and it don't work like that. You know, they always say, don't wait to have a baby if you want to have a baby, because there's never going to be a right time for some people. Again, two truths can exist at once, because some people go, I've saved up enough money, I know my plan, right, let's get pregnant, and then unfortunately sometimes they might not get pregnant. Do you know what I mean? So we just don't know. These things never work out in a prescriptive way, because life isn't prescriptive, I guess.
We had always talked about if we were going to have kids, we were more likely to adopt. But that's something that we had talked about quite actively. Jamie's just walked in.
Oi, oi.
Come on, boy. We'll talk to you in a minute. Yeah, we had talked about that, but I think it's just wonderful now. Like, it's just, and it's like I say, it's challenging. But the reason I raised it, and I know you probably wrote that down. I don't know if you did, but it's something you probably wrote down about blending business and being a mum. Is that we also made an active decision, and we reset that decision quite regularly in our conversation about the fact that you were going to take the large amount of responsibility on this. I know you resonate on this, and actually how gutted I was about that, because I have a 22-year-old and a 2-year-old grandson, and I missed out on so much of my 22-year-old. Not that I had a choice, even if I could, but I wanted to be here for Henry more so, but because of the trajectory that we were on, but the role I was playing, I'm out. I'm doing this. I'm out doing any events, whatever. That front facing bit we talked about it earlier. We had to have a conversation about that. I said, didn't I? When I was like, I would love to be the stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
I would dad it. I would hardcore dad that. But I would love it. I would love anything I'm doing. And if I was going to just do dad, I'd be the best one. I'd be like, I'd be in there. I'd be in all of the dad groups, whatever. I'd be in it. And I still make time. I think. And when I'm there. But we do have active conversation about that on a regular basis around how do we balance that time. And I think that's healthy. I think
Very healthy.
It is. I think one of the biggest struggles, I think, obviously, like you say, like being a parent, being a mum, like it's in itself is a lot. So to choose to do anything else with that is also a lot. But I think going back to the earlier, like the constant contradiction, like I know that I'm really lucky that I can spend a Monday like all morning with him. I can go and do my food shopping. We go for lunch. Like I'm really lucky I can do that because I don't have like a 9 to 5 where I have to go to work. And I really empathise with mums that have 9 months off work on their maternity and then have to make the jump to leave their 9-month-old baby to go back to work, because in most circumstances you have to, because one income isn't enough anymore, largely regardless of what that income is. So I'm really, really fortunate that I get to be really flexible with my time.
we do get to choose.
But on the flip side of that, there's never an off.
No.
Because there's always more that could be done. So like, I might spend all morning, all afternoon with Henry, and then we put him to bed, and then I'll work until 10:30, 11 o'clock, because that's the time that I've got to work. And then I crave a bit of like nothing time, so I'll then sit up until like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then obviously
Watching
you wake up early
nonsense,
and
like absolute rubbish. Obviously, it's awful.
but it's
But it's for you. That's fine.
I
I can't deal with it.
it's the doing nothing.
And it's the resentment. I get resentment. I don't know. I shouldn't have said that probably. But I used to get resentful of the time I didn't have. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I say resentful, I didn't mean about my children. I meant about my responsibilities. Being honest, you know, I'd spend all day at work or with the children and doing the shopping and doing the blah, blah, blah. It gets to 9:30 and I'm like, right, I want my time now for me.
Yeah.
Because I get told, you know, that you need time for yourself and it'll be at 9:30 so I am up watching television, self-sabotaging myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know you'll be
Just
tired.
because it's important that I have that time, even though I should have gone to bed. It's like,
Or
well,
done
if I go to
something a
bed,
bit better
I've
with
done
that.
something
You know,
better, yeah.
just something that would make you feel better.
Yeah.
But there's something like brain numbing about the nothing.
Yes.
Like I'm actually craving the just nothing.
Yeah.
Because and even when I'm doing that nothing, there's still, I think the thing that I think people always say to you, like when you're gonna have a kid or whatever, like, you know, you can never do enough. There's never enough that you can do for your kid. Guilt is the like number one thing. So like I'm sat there doing nothing and I'm then thinking, well, what should I be doing? What could I be doing? Because there's a list. There's
Stamp that
definitely
out.
a
Need
lot
to
of stuff that I
stamp
could
that
be doing.
out early.
But it's then even like, I think like staying on the guilt thing, like Henry does something, like tonight he knew I was coming out. So dinner was like painful. I need to sit on your knee. I'm going to take 20 minutes to eat this bit of broccoli. And he actually made a point of saying something about me not getting ready.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's cheeky.
Go. And I'm like, but then I feel guilty for like a day that I've got stressed at him because I need to go and do
bless
something.
you.
And he just wants me to stay at home.
Yeah.
Like the guilt is the thing that I think is something that I haven't yet learned to process.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know, I'll say something to him. Oh my God, is that going to affect him in 15 years' time when he becomes an adult? Like, is that like, because obviously when you've got kids, it's things that you read in the news or anything related to children become significantly more heightened, I've found, because you relate it back to your child. So like you see, you hear a story about a kid that's done something awful and it's like, well, they were once my 3-year-old. So how have they gone from that to picking up a knife and doing something horrendous?
Yeah.
And I think it's then, you know, what happens along their pathway that then that happens. Like that adolescence program. Yeah. Oh my, like
what did you watch that? Like, yeah. It was
because
brilliant.
I'm like,
I thought it was brilliant.
But what did they do, really?
Who knows? And do you know, there's an interesting, because you've shared quite a lot of few things, and I think I'm slightly abnormal when it comes to my parenting style. I don't kind of feed into none of this guilt stuff. I don't have any guilt for my children. And I did a massive podcast the other day. I got like 250 new followers off of one podcast.
Yeah, awesome. That was nice.
Thank you.
That was strong.
Thank you very much. Yeah. And I was talking about like, do you apologise to your children and are you friends with your children? And I'm very clear with my boundaries with my kids. I'm not friends with them. I never have been and never will be. Yeah. I will always be their mother and we'll be very, very close. But there's stuff I talk to my friends about that I would never talk to my children about. They are not in a friendship league for me. I think we're conflating the word parent and kind of friendship, right? And that's fine. You do you, and that's not a problem. But there is also an element of you're only doing the best with what you've got at the time. And there are people who, you know, smack their kids and when are out of order and abusive and stuff. And I'm not, that is out of order regardless. Yeah. But there is also an element of you having very clear boundaries in terms of your parenting, your expectations, and that's okay. And being really clear with it and setting those boundaries in conjunction with your partner. Like Doug and I, who came in earlier, we parent together. We talk about these things. And I've had the same thoughts. Oh God, well, you know, my childhood was really this and my childhood was really that. And maybe if I do this, it might affect them. When that's normal and normal. Every parent thinks exactly the same. And there's nothing out there. But to the adolescence point, which I find quite interesting, in mental health, we talk about nature versus nurture, right? And I know that this is really so for me that I'm talking to myself mainly here. There gets to a point in your life when you're parenting, in my opinion, that your influences over your children only get you so far. You know, so they only get you so far. And then they start to make decisions of their own volition that are not necessarily in line with your own. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, where did that come from? That kind of wasn't my influence. I've never kind of put up with that before. And what we've got to realise in terms of childhood development is that it is natural, normal and appropriate for them to stretch. Yep. Yeah. For them to stretch their boundaries, stretch what's right and what's wrong necessarily. And they have to do this. And I found this fascinating. They have to do this from a developmental point of view because they almost have to develop a space between you as their parent in order for them to go and thrive on their own.
Break-off moment.
It's a break-off moment. It's fascinating because otherwise, if they don't do that, then they're going to be under our metaphorical coattails for the rest of their life. Yeah. So there is a push and pull that happens naturally, I think, in parenting. And it ain't comfortable.
No.
It's not comfy at all. No, I hate it.
Obviously, I'm a bit more like, I just kind of flow. I'm quite stern, I think. I'm quite... He's different. He's just different for me than he is for you because of that relationship.
Alex, I remember my kids before. People used to go to me, "What do you do? Is that magic?" Because my kids would do something, and I'd be like, and they go, "I didn't say a word," but I had them well trained with the eyeballs. Yeah. And that was passed down from my mum to me. Thanks, mum. And then I'm going to probably pass it on to my kids, and they're going to learn and go, "My mum didn't hit us. She didn't do it, but she used to give us the look." And it was the look, and I never smacked my kids never. But now, if I look at my kids, Seb will go, "All right, mum, kiss me on the head." It doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't hold the same sway as it doesn't require. It's not required. Yes,
and that's fine. That's fine. It's natural. I think I get excited by all of these changes, and because I see you develop as a leader, and as hopefully one of your biggest champions. I've seen you develop as a mum, as a leader. From CEO, self-employed cleaner, who dropped out of beauty college, right? That's cool. That's fine. That wasn't working for you, and you literally worked your way into. You're now in a situation. Like say you're CEO of a business that's growing and stable with a GM that's running that business inside out. You literally, once a quarter sort of conversations like that's the level of leadership you've shown.
And a mum.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I find that quite exciting because I think it makes you a better leader because you're more focused when you're in the business because you have to be. So but I'm the world optimist. Don't forget. So
I do enjoy what I do. So I think obviously I don't do much for Silvertone because Nanny, our GM, does
she's
such a
big up Nanny. She's
incredible
an amazing
job.
woman.
Inspired to Ignite's different. Yeah. I'd say that's like my kind of full-time.
You're in that
role, and I've
got me and Sam.
Again, I get the not just you and Sam anymore.
But you know what I mean?
Just you and Sam
but
anymore,
in leadership
thankfully.
perspective, but you know what I mean? Like you got to deal with that. Like we are mental. Like we are not easy to work with. Generally, I'm comfortable saying that. Yeah.
I think it's getting easier now that we're bringing in some more...
We're scaling,
So, some more of the right people. But, and I do really enjoy it. And I've managed to, because I do have the luxury of being flexible with my time, I'm fitting what I'd class as like a full-time role into a shorter period of time. But again, that comes with the pressures of like having to be productive. If I have a day that's not productive, then like...
Thrown.
All sorts goes out the window. But yeah, like I say, it's where it comes down to that contradiction again, where I do sometimes think, would a 9 to 5 be easier? And I'm like, well, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, is like, that's a really long time to be away from your children. And I'm not knocking that because I fully appreciate that's a reality.
For a lot
but it's where when I'm then thinking, things are really hard or my week's really stressful, I'm like, well, I should be grateful for what I've got. And I think that then comes down to, like I say, again, probably the guilt of, am I wishing for something different sometimes? But I don't think I am. I think I am. I'm quite happy with the luxury of juggling that I have, but it just never stops.
You just think about what to think about all the time. That's the thing.
It's
right?
questioning.
It's always the future. But that's nothing new. That's not.
But I also think there's
You're always thinking about the future.
Yeah.
You're always worried about the future.
Yeah, and I think there's a level of like the guilt of not being fully present in any of those things, because all of them in their own right are probably things that I could give all of my time to, and I'm not giving all of my time to any of them. So I think that's a feeling that comes up sometimes is just that I'm not fully present in anything ever.
So it can
I
ask a
think
question.
you've been asking yourself, but fine.
Yeah, and actually, it's a question that I think that, you know, you've been really honest and transparent in your feelings today, which I really respect. And you and I always have deep and meaningful conversations. This is why I love this community. We don't see each other, I know, but when we do, it's like straight back in, right? Like, and we need to make sure that we do make that time. We can tell I'm no longer a social entrepreneur because I don't see anyone anymore.
Yeah.
I'm in the 9 to 5 love. Remember, see what happens when I'm a 9 to 5 job and I'm being paid a job now. It's a very different thing. I have to, you know. And is it fair to say that the answers to those questions or those challenges or those multiple truths or contradictions that you talk of exist regardless whether or not you think about them or not?
Yeah.
And so therefore, I think it's one of those elements, and this, again, it's from a mental health perspective. Especially guilt is probably one of the most useless emotions we could ever have. It don't give us nothing. You don't get no answers from it. There's no movement for it. It sucks. But we are all human, and therefore the job or the work comes with recognizing that that's how your mind works and interjecting in it. You know, who was I talking to earlier on about calling anxiety Mildred? Who was it? There's been a lot of people I've been speaking to, so I can't remember.
I remember Linda.
But we were talking about somebody said, I have anxiety and this is what happens. And I said, you know, anxiety is designed to try and keep you safe. The problem with anxiety is that it's kind of overrides situations that should not be scary and starts to manifest itself in everyday behaviours. And when I've lived with anxiety before, I've used my anxiety as a person, and mine's called Mildred. I'm like, all right, Mildred, I appreciate you. You're there. I understand what you're trying to do for me right now, but you need to back the hell off. I've got stuff to do. Or leave me be, Mildred. I'm done. I don't need you now. Do you know what I mean? So it's to recognise that you can't do anything about the thoughts, but what can you do going forward?
That's that CIA
in terms of
thing.
Yes, CIA. Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. Did you like that? Did you?
Yeah, I do like
What's in your control? What's your influence? What do you just have to accept?
Yeah, I'm beyond this.
Yes, it's tired.
We're beyond that.
We're nearly there. No, it's nearly there.
I'm good. I'm here. I'm here. I'm just not much used to anyone.
We're all right. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. We are.
What would you?
We are nearly there.
Fine. So, Christine, then what would you say to? Because the other thing is, you've struggled to find other mums. Yeah,
I did really struggle with that.
So, when you struggle to find other mums, and we had a brilliant. I don't know if you heard Francesca.
I didn't. I caught like the very end of Francesca and Michael.
It's a prime example, and I think it applies anywhere, and it definitely applies to you. So I don't think it's something that you've tried yet. But maybe we need to flip it and say, well, actually, this is who I am. This is, you know, there'll be other mums that have got businesses and situations like you're in that also feel like they haven't got that community, that peer. And I know you look for it. You spent quite a lot in the first year looking for it.
I think I did.
Like
so
Mother's Walk. It was like Tinder for mums.
I feel like
honestly, it was like that.
No, so I feel like
it was like swipe left and right. Wow.
So it's the Peanut app, which is basically like Tinder
I think it's a
for
great
mums.
idea.
Exactly.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
And like I'd sit on it, and
honestly, it's a big problem. It was a big challenge.
But I'd start up a conversation, and then like I wouldn't say I put huge amounts of effort into doing it. So there is there's a mum's walking group, and I went and joined them for a walk once. And even one of the conversations I remember happening was with one of the women walking around, and she asked me about like my pregnancy and my birth. And I'm really, really fortunate that I had a lovely pregnancy.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I was a significantly nicer person whilst pregnant.
Yeah.
My sister reminds me of that all the time, how much nicer I was pregnant. I had a really easy birth.
Yeah.
And largely, we've got quite a good one.
We're pretty blessed, right? Yeah.
We've got, we haven't had any real touch wood because he's 3 and there's like a lot of life left. But then I was like, and how was yours? And oh my God, she told me this story about how she was like near death and it was horrendous. And I was like, oh. And the guilt. I felt so guilty that I'd had such a good experience. So I'm like, that was then a really uncomfortable conversation because I'd just unloaded how like wonderful it was and that it was really nice. She's like, yeah, this was it for me. And I was like, that's awful.
That's that one then.
That's really awful.
Swipe right or left, whatever you do.
Don't really know where we take this conversation.
Yeah,
now,
that's so funny. Like hearing it from your perspective of everything was great. Like, I don't know why. people expect you to share your deepest, darkest, most painful and traumatic experiences. And if you don't, then it's like, oh, what happened?
It's interesting.
It's very strange.
So, what would you say to another mum in your position? Because you talked about a lot about what you don't know and what you think's wrong, and what but like from the positive side of it, like Henry's brilliant, right? Henry is like super awesome, and you like Inspired to Ignite in particular, which is one that you've put a lot of energy and focus in the last year. Literally tripled its revenue last year, and you're the finance director, right? Like we're growing and scaling. A lot of that is, and if Sam was here, he'd back me up on this, is down to you. So you're doing something right. Because he's intelligent, he's empathetic, he's fun, he's curious, he's very social, he eats well, he does as he's told, mostly, for me mainly anyway. You're doing something right. So let's allow yourself a minute to actually talk about something positive about yourself. Would be nice, wouldn't it? What do you reckon?
It's not about being negative. It's not about.
I'm not saying you're being negative.
No. See, this is what happens when you get couples on here, mate.
It's like therapy when we get down.
So you two, what I think we have to do is ignite. It's about being okay with the feelings and the thoughts you have, right? And that's absolutely fine.
I'm fine about it, but I want to make some friends.
Yeah, no. Well, I think what you've got, because actually when you were speaking about the swipe left Tinder thing, I thought what you was going to suggest was setting something up.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, even better.
Because we were talking to Francesca about actually community.
I lost my train of thought.
It's okay, you're allowed, because you've got 2 hours left, mate. Do you know what I mean? You need 24
You're
hours,
right,
Alex.
you should do that, yeah.
But if there is something that's missing, and you've met other people, that's how community is built, right? You have a shared experience with somebody who goes, yeah, I found that really hard. My kids are a lot older, but I'm still a mum who was running a business. I've still got insight. I've still got experience. There are other people in town who would be interested in understanding the hustle and the juggle around maintaining, a family, a home and a job and babies. There are a lot of women, not women who are necessarily in work perhaps, but those people who are running organisations might be the niche that it is. And I thought that was what you were
that's what I was. Where I started. It felt like a long time ago.
Yeah. And who knows, it might happen organically, but I think for me, what would be helpful in interim is to do that work around noise. It's just noise. A lot of it is just noise, and it's distracting. And so when we kind of listen to the noise, we then get distracted from what is obviously so amazing, because you're doing a brilliant job, smashing it.
Yeah, right.
So massive shout out to you, girl. And yet, let's do coffee. Let's make sure it happens.
without a plus one.
Can we have a lay in tomorrow?
No, because I'm going to get up and take Henry to school. You can have a lay-in.
Yes.
But you've been up for 24 hours, so it's probably fine.
So it's allowed.
This once.
Allowed that one. To be fair, all the way, it's been tough this week, because all of the week this week, Henry's been really ill. Like he's been up all night, and Christine has slept in the other room with Henry to try to help me protect my sleep for tonight.
Yeah, too right.
And then I can't sleep because I feel guilty because I'm not trying to sleep.
Good
This
Lord.
cycle is ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway.
No, see, me and Doug, see this again, communication, right? Me and my husband, when the kids were little, I slept in with the kids. He slept in our bedroom. And I slept in because he had to work. And I remember all these women, see, again, opinions, right? Get out of my face. This is not your life, it's mine. You're asking. People say to me, oh, do you not think that he needs to go and get the babies? I'm like, well, first of all, he breastfeeds. So unless he's got mammaries, that can feed the babies.
Doug breastfeeds.
That's the whole point, right? One of the... Yeah. And people would literally get to the point where they were going, why don't you go and get him to pick up the baby then, to bring him, because it's not equal. And I used to get really irate, because I'd say, first of all, he needs to go to work from 9 tomorrow morning until 5 o'clock in the evening to bring home money so that we've got a roof over our head. I haven't got a job. I'm at home. I'm able to move in and out with my kids. So I don't need him to do that. So we had an agreement that during the week he would sleep in our bed, I would sleep in, because we're blessed enough to have a separate room, and I'd sleep in with my son. And then when my daughter came along, that was a whole different ballgame. because juggling, whoa, that was a lot. But it worked for us. And I think that's the thing. You've got to find what works for you and ignore everyone else's opinion. Because everyone's got something else to say, ain't they?
I was about to try and negotiate that deal, actually, but I won't try now.
No, don't try it.
What deal?
That's the same deal, right?
Because the issue is we're both working.
I was going to say, I don't have the luxury of
But
we mix it up. I think like the week. So Sunday, for instance, we'll say, right, cool. This week, I'm like, right, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm out of action. But actually, Thursday, Friday, I'm good.
Yeah, but that's your compromise. And as Brené Brown said, if you're a Brené Brown fan,
this far without saying anything.
I'm not really a Brené Brown fan. I mean, she's all right. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking her.
Yeah, I rate some. She's got some good ones.
I do rate some of her stuff, but I also have challenges with some of her other stuff.
Nice.
Two truths can be held at once, right? That's my motto for today.
Yeah, I like that.
And it is that matter of it's who's carrying it. You know, I've got 80% this week.
That's that balance.
You're running on 20, or I'm running on 40, running on 60. What can we do together? And that's relationship.
That's the balance.
Yeah. I do think I don't vocalise as much. I don't think.
Not at all.
Not
nearly enough.
Maybe that's a choice I'll make.
Yeah, you should do that. Yeah,
just
not
communicate
today
what you need.
or tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Wednesday.
Do you want to get up?
Thursday. Yeah, I'm staying in Wimbledon until Friday, so let's schedule it for Sunday, shall we? Right, thanks, Christine.
Pleasure, my love.
Thanks for looking
Nice
after
to
us.
see you, my darling.
For a while.
Yeah.
Thanks for feeding us as well. What? No, I don't. I might have a coffee or something. I'll have yeah. Whoa, nice. Well, you know, like, not to say we won't hit the target, but Stay Nimble have committed to the 3 regardless.
They have they? Oh, wow. When did you get that news?
Yeah, I knew that anyway.
Oh, okay.
But it's like, if we don't hit the target sort of thing, we can still get the rest sort of thing. So one way or the other, we're going to hit 4 or 5K, right? It's good. It's blessed. And thanks, big up Stay Nimble. And that conversation with Dom earlier was awesome. Yeah, I watched that back now. Yeah, you'll meet him properly. So. At Pesky Do-Gooders lunch is a new thing. Okay, right. You carry on. Jamie, you're up next, my man.